Hey, what is going on everyone? In today's video we're going to be doing the first of what I hope is many attachment breakdown videos. The reason I wanted to start doing these videos for you guys is the descriptions on each attachment in this game, they're quite vague, and I want to try and help with your selections when choosing your loadouts, multiplayer and for Warzone. Today we're going to be looking at the best possible combinations of attachments for the MP7 to help control that recoil, get it down so you can make sure you're hitting your target. As always, if you could drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button, it really helps me out. Anyway, I'm Average Dad, and let's get into it. So I've been doing some testing to see how some of the attachments affect the recoil pattern on this MP7. We're going to look at the underbarrel foregrips, the barrels, we'll look at the rear grip tapes, a couple of the stocks and some of the muzzles. We'll start with the underbarrel foregrips. We have the Commando, the MERC, the Tactical, the Ranger, and the operator foregrips. So let's see how each of these changes the recoil pattern of the gun. Right, so first up we have no attachments, and we can see it's very vertical recoil pattern, not very much horizontal movement. It does veer slightly off to the right, but it's not too bad. Next is the Commando foregrip, and we can see it is slightly tighter in its spread, and it doesn't pull up quite as far as having no attachment on. Next up is the MERC foregrip. Now this brings the spread in further, but it does kick out slightly to the right when you're unloading a whole clip. Next, we take the Tactical foregrip, and this really doesn't do much at all. You can hardly tell the difference between this and having no foregrip on it whatsoever. Then we have the Ranger foregrip. Now this, we see the spread tighten up a lot, and it's lifting about a third less than having no foregrip attachment on. So this really does bring it down. And then finally, we're going to run the operator foregrip. And similarly to the Ranger, this does tighten everything up, but it does tend to kick slightly out to the right, just a little bit more than the Ranger. So if we take a look at them all together, we can see the Ranger and the operator are very close. By far the tightest spread, but I would say the Ranger just takes this one. Next, we'll add the barrels. I tested this with the Ranger foregrip on each. First up is the FSS strike barrel, and we can see it is up, then off to the right before it goes back up again. So it gets a little bit stable towards the middle and then pushes back up. Next is the FSS recon barrel, and with this we can see it's slightly more predictable, the line slightly more predictable, just vertical and slightly to the right. And finally the FSS SWAT barrel, and this one is a bit more unpredictable. It is a little bit messy and it is a little bit all over the place. So if we take a look at these together, the Recon has the cleanest recoil pattern of all three. And let's add the rear grip tape to the mix. Now, and we'll start with the granulated grip tape. This brings the spread in quite nicely. Next up, we'll have the stippled grip tape, and we can see it doesn't really help much, unfortunately. And last but not least is the rubberized grip tape. Now we can see with this, just like granulated, it tightens the spread up and makes it a lot more predictable. If we put a nice side by side up, then again, granulated and rubberized, they are very close. I'd say rubberized just steals this one. Next, we'll move on to the stocks. We're only going to cover a couple of the stocks here, because there's only a couple that do much to the recoil and the stability of the gun. Let's start with a forged tack stalker. And we can see it really pulls that spread in tight. And just in case you want faster ADS time, we have the no stock. Now this pushes the recoil up a bit more. It isn't really too bad, can be manageable, and again, it will give you that faster ADS time. If we look then at them together, we can see the difference between no stock and the stock actually makes. Finally, let's throw some muzzles on. Let's start with the muzzle brake. We can see we get a nice tight, near straight line with this one. Next, we'll have a look at the compensator, and wow, that really brings it in. If you aim at the center mass with this, without even putting any pressure on the thumbsticks, you're going to hit almost every single bullet you fire. And lastly, we see my favourite, the monolithic suppressor. I've shown this purely as it is a Warzone staple, adding that extra damage and that extra range. We can see the recoil does pull up slightly, but this could still be managed with the right pressure on the thumbstick. So we'll take a side-by-side view. We can see the compensator clearly holds this. And just to show the difference the attachments actually make, here is a side-by-side of having no attachments compared to having all of the ones we spoke about on. So I really hope this has helped you guys out with your loadout choices. The MP7 really is a nice little versatile gun. You can swap around what you like for Warzone, maybe put on the monolithic suppressor with the Forge Tac Stalker, and maybe the 60 round mag. All our 6v6 maps, maybe use the compensator with the no stock for that fast ADS time, but you're still going to be able to maintain control. So let me know in the comments what gun you'd like me to cover next. And if you found this helpful at all, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and drop a like. Thanks for watching.